Hey guys, welcome back to another NGS video, where this time we're going to be talking about Infernium. This is a new rare mineral from the Stia region, which is used for a whole bunch of different items, including some 8-star weapons, which are actually really powerful. But there's a whole bunch of different ways you can actually get this mineral, unlike Blizzardium from the past, like in Kaizaar, and it's not as much of a pain as it was back then. But first off, just to show what you are going to use this mineral for, there's actually a new item exchange exclusive to Stia, where you go to the item trader over here by the Ryuker device in the Stia camp, and go to the final tab here, item exchange, Stia. So in here, you can get the new Kouklophis weapon series, which there is one for every single type of weapon, and you can get it up to fixed attack level 3 guaranteed. For the fixed attack 3 version, you're going to need 200 of this Infernium, but if you want something like lower, like fixed attack 1, it's just 30, and then if you just want a basic one, it is 15. Personally, I would recommend just going straight for the fixed attack 3, especially if you're like a hardcore gamer, but you can also, if you want to, choose this basic one for 15 to get it early on, if you want to use it early, and then later on get the fixed attack 3 version and just fix to transfer it into your basic one that you might put up augments or whatever else into it. But for what this weapon series does, there is a page here which details that out. So this is the Kouklophis weapon, and at plus 50 it has 685 attack power, the base attack, and then for its potential it goes up to level 4 currently, and it has a potency of 19% and damage resistance plus 5%. But it gets an additional damage resistance plus 5% and an extra potency plus 6% towards Doll's enemies. So essentially this is going to shine when you're doing the harder content in the game, like purple triggers, urgent quests, dark falls, etc. Basically all of those enemies are Dolls, so you're going to get the max benefit of this weapon. And because of its high attack power, it's just going to be better than like the previous 7 stars, unless if for some reason you have like a very high fixa with either the rugged or obsidia weapons. But I'll go more in depth with comparisons in a later video, so let's actually go back to the shop here. So for other things that you can get in here are the doable 4s, which are 2.75% for 2 different potency types, and they only cost 1 Infernium each, but there is a limit up to 10 every week. There's also the Ultra Credit 4s, which are a new capsule, but with all of these, they can drop from enemies. This is like a guaranteed way of getting them if you want to spend that Infernium. There's also Arms Refiners, NEX Cubes, all of the class cubes, different minerals, as well as the Kouklophis camo, so if you wanted to use the camo for this without using the weapon, then there's the option for you. There's also a spot to where you can exchange for Infernium, which is our first way to get it. So for this, you'll need to gather 3 different food items from across the map: the famous Stia mushrooms, the famous Stia crabs, and the famous Stia carambolas. All of these are tied to different weather effects or daytime, nighttime effects to be able to see them in their certain spots. For the mushrooms first, they spawn in the Meteola outer area right next to this Velusa Ridge 2 Ryuker device, but they only show up during the nighttime. For the crabs, they show up in the outer 2 area, kind of by the Hexakite or the Doldaris veteran. With that, they spawn during clear or ash rain weather effects. Doesn't matter with the daytime, nighttime. And then for the carambolas, they are kind of in between the Stia camp and the tower here, this little island here, and they spawn only during the daytime. And then with these, they always respawn daily, so you should be able to get a few Infernium from those every day. For the next way, this is partial RNG, but in the treasure shop, the Enmaseta one, you can get this to show up the Infernium, or it costs 20,000 Meseta, and you can be able to purchase one when it shows up. You can kind of refresh the product here with either premium or free charges, and you might be able to get multiple in a day. But if you want anything beyond like 1 or 2 refreshes, you're gonna have to start spending SG within that day. But this resets daily, so you don't have to really worry about it. Just like kind of could get some extra Infernium if you wanted to. The next way, which is also another daily thing, but this is guaranteed, is a specific mining spot. This can only show up during Scorching, Inferno, or Phoenix weather conditions according to this quest. So basically when the area is heating up or erupting, and basically it will spawn next to this big thing in the center of the map in the Meteola outer area 1. You just kind of make your way around it to its back side. Basically with this, all I've seen is you can get 1 from this mineral. Maybe if you have high like RDR or something, you might be able to get 2. but I have not seen that yet. For the next way, this is pretty much infinitely farmable, no like limit to it, and that is farming Gigantix. So there is new Recon Gigants here with the Stia region, these normal kind of enemies that turn Gigantix. With these, you can get Infernium from them, but it isn't as good of a chance as, say, doing the regular Gigantix bosses, which can also show up, but they are exclusive to storms instead of showing up all the time like these guys. But with the bosses, they take a lot longer too, so it's like, I don't know, I kind of avoid doing the bosses, but you can get up to like 1 or 2 with those guys. There's also a arena with Gigantix that kind of shows up in the medial outer area, kind of in the back here. Basically, or this UQ is exactly, there's an arena where if you kill a Gigantix there, a new one will spawn pretty much like right away. You can do them like back to back. So that's also a nice spot. But there is also the purple trigger. So in that, there's Gigantix as well, that boss rush as usual with other regions. But here it seems to be guaranteed for each boss that you kill within the trigger. There's 5 bosses, so that means you can get up to 5 Infernium each run if you kill them all. So I think this is the most surefire method, and probably the fastest method is doing this purple trigger if you can. But as always, these purple triggers are quite difficult for most players. I tried it earlier and I only could kill like 4 out of the 5 bosses within the 20-minute timer. But I imagine as we get more and more gear and better capsules, it won't be as bad. But surprisingly, that's not all the ways to get this Infernium. There's actually a new trial called Zonnel Destruction, where you need to go around finding these invisible dazzle pods, or you can hit this like control pod thing, which reveals them all on the map for you. And once you destroy all of those, you go back to the Zonnel device, smack it a couple times, and it'll drop down. And then once you hit it, it'll give you a whole bunch of different minerals, which can include Infernium. For me, I've gotten it around half the time with this trial, so it seems like it's a pretty good chance. And then something that is exclusive to the Dreisen plant area are these invisible boxes. So these respawn daily. You need to use like your mag ping or follow these golden auras to be able to find these boxes. And within them, you can find this Infernium, but you can also get like arms refiners, NEX cubes, alpha reactors, a whole slew of good things. With these though, there is a limit per day on how many you can get. From what I've seen, it's around 8 or so, and I've gotten around 2 to 3 Infernium per day from these boxes alone. That's it for the continuous ways of getting Infernium, but there are a few spots to where you can get Infernium in chunks. One of them being a red box, which is right on top of the helical line cocoon, and once you complete killing all those dazzle pods, it'll unlock, and you can get 10 Infernium in total from that. Now for the final thing though, you can actually spend real money if you want to in the shop, the AC one, and there is a couple DLC packs in here called Crimson Lotus Stia packs, type 1 and type 2. So with these, you get a whole bunch of different cosmetics, but on the bottom here, there is 10 Infernium that you get for each pack, but they are 1,980 AC, so around like $20 each. So I don't know if I would personally do this, but there is the option to do that. And with these, you can only buy one per account. You can buy this one, you can also buy this one, but there is kind of like a workaround, or you can go into different stores, like say buy it on Steam, they can buy on an Epic Store, and blah, 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 and get a whole bunch of Infernium that way if you want to. That is all of the ways that I know of to get Infernium. I know one person mentioned before that you could get Infernium from the complex minerals, the thing that you throw the lava bombs at and give you a burst of minerals, but I destroyed a whole bunch of those, and as far as I could tell, I could not get any from that. Maybe it's a really low drop chance or just impossible to get from those. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next NGS video. Peace.